the tandem, right? So homogeneous and exact. And last time, I showed you an example of a differential equation that is both homogeneous and exact. But this time, what if you tested a differential equation and it is both not homogeneous and not exact? Okay? So aside from panicking, okay, so that simply means it might be linear or Bernoulli. So that's what we're going to discuss for today. So we have linear differential equations and Bernoulli equations. So these two are in tandem. No, why do I say they are in tandem? It's because their form, if you observe, yes, is there a concern?
Sir, good morning po. Hindi pa po tayo tapos sa exact po. Ano lang po, yun na, in-explain nyo lang, hindi nyo ba po na-explain yung example?
Okay, okay, okay. Sige, sige. I thought, yung nabanggit kanina ni Miss Pierce, nakapag-example na rin. Okay, okay. Akala ko naman nakapag-exact na. So meaning we haven't done the process for exact. So can you confirm? So we haven't done the
Yung,
process.
yung steps po, tapos na po. Yung example po, hindi
Ah,
pa.
okay. Example lang wala pa. So I haven't showed you though yung example that is both homogeneous and exact. Okay. Just a moment. You're a bit behind on, not far behind from the discussion. Let me check the session. Hmm, okay. So we're on track anyway. So thank you for clarifying. So we'll adjust what we're going to discuss today. So since we haven't had an example for exact differential equations, so this one we haven't solved this one. Okay. Anyway, so why are you so behind on schedule? So you're the farthest behind, turns out. Okay. Anyway, so we can catch up naman with the topics. So it's still around week 5 only. All right. So let's try this example for exact differential equation. So I believe I have already explained the steps. No, I've showed you a preview of the steps. So let's just do a quick recap of the steps so that you can have an idea. Okay. So step 1, here's what you need to remember for exact differential equations. 'Di ba on homogeneous, we did substitution and then a lot of algebra, right? So you had to do a lot of algebra to simplify. Now, for exact, okay, what you need to remember for the solution, first of all, we have step-by-step solution. You have step 1, step 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Now, on each step, okay, on each step, you will always have to deal with a working equation like this one or these two. No, you have to choose. And then on step 3, so this is your step 3, you will also not necessarily or not exactly choose, but you'll have to pair either of these with what you chose here on step 2. So if you chose mdx plus ty, on step 3, you will have to use partial derivative of f with respect to y because you're solving for ty or t of y is equal to n because you have used m already, no? So you haven't used n, so that's what you're going to use for step 3. If you chose this equation, integral of n dy plus t of x, you will have to pair it for step 3 with this one. Partial derivative of f with respect to x is equal to m. Same rule. You're solving for t of x here, so you have to partial with respect to x, and you already used n dy, so you will have to use m here. Okay? So as you observe here, uh, almost all of the steps will involve what? Working equation. Even on step 4, no, the final step here. So it's simply equating your f that you solve on step 2 and inserting. So you're gonna have an f here, a function, and then what's gonna emerge here. And then on step 3, you're going to solve either t of x or t of y. And then you're going to combine the two and equate them to the constant. See, even in step 4, there's still a working equation. So that's what we're going to do for the example. All right, let's begin. First step, or step 1, is to test, of course. Right? Because you never know. This might be another homogeneous. So we will test. So on this form, it's already what? M dx, right? Plus n dy equals 0. So you already have your m, which is this one, and your n. Okay? So we can put them on the test. Partial derivative of n with respect to x should be equal to the partial derivative of m with respect to y. So we just substitute partial of x squared plus y with respect to x is equal to the partial derivative of m with respect to y. Ay, sorry. I should have inserted already. Okay. So m is 2xy minus 3x squared. Alright. So let's evaluate this one. Partial of x squared with respect to x. So it's a variable. You'll have 2x. Partial of y with respect to x. So constant, 0. Partial of 2xy with respect to y. Y gets derivative. Then what's left is 2x. And then this one is constant with respect to y. So plus 0. So this is therefore exact. Now we can proceed to step 2. On step 2, again, you can choose. No, you can just choose one. Okay? So you can just choose one, either of these, and it will work. No need to use both just to solve one given. Alright? Again, you can just choose one as long as you stay consistent with step 3 and beyond. Okay? So for step 2, I will try this using this equation. The integral of the partial derivative of f is equal to the integral of m dx plus t of y. All right? And then for your practice, you do the other way around. Okay? So let's see, and then you compare to what we're going to get here if you will get the same general solution. Right? So let's try the so integral of the partial derivative of f is equal to the integral of m dx plus t of y. So again, the t of y here is still unknown. We will solve this on step 3. So you just let it be unknown here. Okay, we will evaluate this integral. And also this. So the integral of the partial of f becomes f. And then we will substitute m, integral of 2xy minus 3x squared up dx plus t of y. So now, we will distribute. You'll have integral of 2xy dx minus the integral of 3x squared dx plus t of y. Now, you might wonder, sir, di ba we can integrate if it's not separable? So why are we integrating? So this is a special case because you see here, we integrated the partial derivative. Okay, it means that also applies on the other side of the equation. Okay, remember that. Meaning, we will partially integrate this taking y as a constant. We will only integrate x. So on the other way around, if you try, the partial, integral of the partial of f is equal to the integral of n dy plus t of x. Right around here, there will be, let's say, x dy. Okay, the x there will be taken as a constant. You will only integrate the y values there. Alright? So let's continue. So what's the integral of this? So you will factor out the 2y. So what's integral of x dx? That's x squared over 2. While on this one, we'll factor out 3. Integral of x squared dx is x cubed over 3. Then copy this. And then we simplify. So this cancels out. This becomes x squared y and then minus x cubed plus t of y. Okay? So this f, you're going to use for step 3. Okay? Here on step 3. To solve for t of y. So that's what's gonna happen. Okay. So we have the f, which is equal to x squared y minus x cubed plus t of y. So on step 3, so again, if you use mdx ty on step 3, you will have to use partial derivative of f. So take note of this with respect to y is equal to, you already used m on step 2, so you're going to use n for step 3. Okay, let's substitute. So you'll use this to insert here x squared y minus x cubed plus t of y with respect to y is equal to, what is our n? X squared plus y. So we apply again, partial derivative. So as you're noticing by now, we're not doing much algebra, right? No, we're not doing much simplification. But you will have to practice partial derivative. Okay, so make sure you practice, you recall, you refresh your mind with partial derivatives. So you will have to use them for exactly. Okay, let's proceed. So with respect to y, so y gets derivative, you'll have x squared. And then this one, minus x cubed is constant with respect to y, so that's 0. And then this one, the t of y becomes t prime of y. This you just copy. Alright. Another thing that you need to look out for is terms that will cancel out. Alright. So for in this scenario, you have x squared and x squared, so they canceled out, right? On both sides of the equation. So what's left was t prime of y and y. Now, on step 3, it is said we will need to solve for ty, t of y. So you're left with t prime of y. So you will have to integrate both sides, what's left of both sides, in order to revert it back to t of y. And then what's the integral of y with respect to y? Take note, we took the partial derivative with respect to y. So meaning when we do integration, it is now with respect to y. So this one becomes, I'll put the plus sign there. So this one becomes y squared over 2. So now you have a ty, you have an f. We can, on step 4, we can equate it to c. Alright, so you'll have x squared y minus x cubed plus y squared over 2 equals constant. So simplifying, you'll have y squared plus 2x squared y minus 2x cubed equals constant. This is your general solution. Okay, so did you follow that? The 4 steps? So again, it's just 4 steps as compared to what? Your homogeneous. You also had to algebra, right? A lot of substitution or a lot of simplification. But for this one, you only need to follow the four steps and make sure that you pair what you chose on step 2 with its correct tandem for step 3. Okay? So for your practice, so take this example. So I've included the answer there for your guide. Alright? Okay. So this time I will show you, like what I've said earlier that I thought I already showed. So I will show an example that it's a case where it is both homogeneous and exact. Right? So short story, it was included in the exam last time. And I included it knowing that it is exact. So I knew that the process to solve this was exact. But one of the students tried solving it using homogeneous. Okay? So she tried solving it using homogeneous, although she did not succeed, right? Because it was too many algebra for her. I continued their solution and I got the same answer as if you did the exact method. Okay? So that's what we're gonna do. No, this is an example that is both homogeneous and exact DE. So first we need to test. No? So homogeneity test. So we're using lambda here, and we know that this is your m and x. Sorry, m and n. So your m is x plus 2y. Your n is 2x plus y. So we're gonna need this two for the test for exactness, right? On the other side. So test for exactness. So using lambda, and we're getting the ratio of m over n, you'll have lambda x plus 2 lambda y. And then what is this? So 2 lambda x plus lambda y. And then you factor out lambda x plus 2y. And then on below, you'll have lambda 2x plus y. So as you can see here, both of your lambdas have the same degree, right? So therefore, this is homogeneous. How about for exact? So we do the testing again. Partially n with respect to x, that's partially m with respect to y. So we substitute 2x plus y, and then x plus 2y with respect to y. So what will be the result here? Partial 2x with respect to x is 2. Y with respect to x is constant, so that's 0. X with respect to y is constant, so 0. And 2y with respect to y is 2, right? So this is also exact. Okay, did you get that? So on the testing alone, you can already have an idea that is both homogeneous and exact. Just from the testing. But if you want to be sure, so you can also solve, right? So we will solve this first using exact because this is already your step 1. So we can just proceed with step 2. So this time I will use the ndy. So integral of the partial of f is equal to ndy plus t of x. So I'll be using this sample. So this becomes f, integral. So integral of your n is 2x plus y dy, right, plus t of x. Alright, so again, we distribute, so it will have integral of 2x dy. This is what I'm talking about earlier. plus the integral of y dy plus t of x. See this? We will partially integrate this taking what? 2x as a constant. No? So you'll have 2x and then the integral of dy is simply y. Integral of y dy is y squared over 2. And then t of x is still unknown. Again, we will solve this on step 3. For step 3, I used n dy tx. So my partial of f will be with respect to x. And then I used n. So on step 3, I will use m. 2xy plus y squared over 2 plus t of x with respect to x is equal to what's your m? X plus 2y. So we evaluate with respect to x. So this one becomes 2x. This one is a constant, so 0. And then this one becomes t prime of x. Then x plus 2y. Ay, sorry. We derivative the x. So this becomes 2y. Uh, so x gets derivative, right? And then 2y is the constant. So also you can check. Again, I told you, you have to look out for terms that will cancel out here. So if what you did, let's say you made the mistake of writing 2x here, and you notice that why is there still some terms that haven't canceled out? I thought they're supposed to cancel out. So you check again your partial. All right, so they're supposed to cancel out. So what's left is t prime of x and x here. So we will integrate them to return it to t of x. So now what's the integral of x with respect to x? So that is x squared over 2. And on step 4, we will just assemble. Okay? So you'll have 2xy plus y squared over 2. And then your tx is plus x squared over 2. And then we equate to constant. So this is actually already your answer. You can simplify by removing the fractions. You'll have y squared plus 4xy plus x squared equals constant. So this is your general solution. Were you able to follow what happened there for exact? Okay. So for your practice again, so you can try this given using mdx t of y. Okay, so excuse my sneezing and blowing. So I have a faucet on my nose right now. So it's dripping with my what do you call that? With my phlegm. Okay. So it's really runny right now. Okay. Anyway, so we have solved this. So ito, remember this answer. Y squared plus 4xy plus x squared equals constant because we will prove using homogeneous that we will arrive at the same answer. Okay? So we will use this again. Uh, it's okay. So I'll just include equals 0. So we will solve this using homogeneous. So to do that, we'll do substitution. Now, I told you before that there's a hint wherein you just have to count how many dx or dy you will have to substitute. And then you can choose whether you will substitute y equals vx or x equals vy, right? So which one will be simpler? But on this sample also, if even if you distribute dx, you'll have 2. Even if you distribute dy here, you'll still have 2 dy. So it's a tie. Okay? So you can use either for this example. So we'll just use y equals vx. And then dy is the product rule. Okay? So we'll do the substitution. But before that, I will distribute. So you'll have x dx plus 2y dx plus 2x dy plus y dy equals 0. Right? And then now I can substitute here. So x dx is still the same. 2y you will substitute, right? So you'll have 2vx dx. And then here you will substitute dy, 2x. So this product rule. And then this one you will substitute both. V dx plus x dv equals 0. Okay, so from here on out, we will need to reduce. Right, remember? We need to reduce this into separable, or we will need to reduce the number of terms into 2. So as you see here, you'll have 1 million terms. Okay. So you'll have many, many terms here. So our goal is to simplify them, factor out, combine, cancel out, such that we will only have 2 terms and that can be separated. So let's do it. So you'll have x dx plus 2vx dx. And then I will distribute this. So I'll have here 2vx also dx plus here 2x squared dv. And on this one, I'll have v squared x dx plus vx squared dv equals 0. Okay, on the next part, we will inspect for like terms. So you have like terms here, right? 2vx dx. So you'll have x dx plus 4 vx dx. And then I will put beside them the other dx term. See here? Plus v squared x dx. And then we will put beside together the dv terms. Vx squared dv equals 0. Right? So we haven't done much here. We just combine like terms. We just put aside or put together common terms. Next, practice your observation skills. What is common with all the terms? So look at here. You have x, x, x squared, x squared. So all of them at least have one x. So we will divide all by x. So we can remove. It becomes dx. This one becomes 4v dx. This one becomes v squared dx. This one becomes 2x dv and vx dv. Alright, so what's next to do? We will now factor out what's common. Uh, on these three, common is dx. On these two, the common is x dv. Okay, so pull out as many commonalities you can. Okay, even though they are x dv or not the supposedly group factors. Okay, so I will substitute, or sorry, I will factor out dx. What's left? V squared plus 4v plus 1. And then I will factor out x dv. What's left? You have v plus 2. See here? Now we only have 2 terms. This one and this one. So now that we have 2 terms, what's the next step we can do? We can now convert them into separable. Okay? So what's the next step here? So how do you separable this one? Diba? You will transpose and cross multiply. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. So we will move it to the other side. Oops. Wrong color. So this one you will just copy. V squared plus 4v plus 1 dx, and then this one you will transpose everything x v plus 2 dv. So how do we group them together? So the negative x here I can bring down here, and then this long trinomial I will bring down on the other side. So I'll have negative dx over x, and then I'll have here v plus 2 dv v squared plus 4v plus 1. Is it now separated? So let's take a look. Your x is now included with the dx, and then all of these v are included with dv. So this is now separable. So the next step is to integrate. All right. So you know this already. This is just negative ln of x. How about this one? Review of your integral. Diba? You can let u be the higher degree polynomial. So you'll have here v squared plus 4v plus 1. And then du will be, so du will be the derivative of this. So you'll have 2v plus 4 dv. Take note here, you can factor out 2. And then you'll have v plus 2. You see here, you can substitute v plus 2 dv with this one. Okay, you just have to bring 2 to the other side by dividing both sides. So you'll have 1 half du is your v plus 2 dv. So now we can substitute the u and the 1 half du. So this becomes integral of 1 half du over u. Or simply, uh, 1 half ln of u. So plus constant. Okay, now, before you substitute back, we need to deal with the ln or the logarithmic. Okay, we have to deal with the logarithmic first. So we can simplify. So we will now apply properties of logarithmic. So the first one is that you can what? You can convert the coefficient of your ln into an exponent of your function inside. But this is 1 half. So we can't do that because it will be what? Square root. So for now, we will just multiply all by 2. So this becomes negative 2 ln x. So this one cancels out and just ln u plus constant. Okay? So now we can what? Move this to the other side, and then the constant we will move. We'll just swap. So you'll have constant, and then you'll have here ln u plus 2 ln of x. So what's the next step? So we need to simplify this. So the 2, like I said earlier, you can raise into an exponent of the x. So this becomes no. This becomes ln of x squared. Oops. Okay? And then we apply another property wherein the sum of two logarithmic functions you can combine into one, wherein their functions will be a factor of each other or product. So you'll have u x squared. Okay, remember we applied this. Alright? And then what's the next step? So we will apply another rule for logarithmic and exponential wherein you can apply natural exponent to cancel out the ln. While this one still remains as a constant because e, even on your calculator, is what? Diba? It's a constant value. So remember that, ha? And then this one cancels out and just becomes ux squared. Now you can substitute back. Your u is v squared plus 4v plus 1. 4v plus 1 times x squared. But even if you what distribute, you can still cancel out or simplify because it's still in v. So you have to return it to y over x. So if you return it, it becomes, for v squared, it becomes y squared over x squared. Oh, remember that, ha? You don't only square the y, you square the entire thing. And then for this one, this is for y over x. So on this one, you don't distribute on numerator denominator, only on the numerator because you're just multiplying. And then copy 1, then x squared. So we will distribute x squared into this to simplify. You'll have y squared plus 4xy plus x squared equals constant. Is it the same as this one? So remember, I told you to remember the answer for this method, the exact. Diba it's the same? Ay, sorry, I jumped too far. Not that one. This one. Alright? So this one. And this one. See that? It's the same. So we now have evidence or proof that that example is both homogeneous and exact. Alright? So for your practice, I'm not sure if I've already mentioned you this or told it or given you this. So for your practice of exact, so try to solve this using our exact method. So I've given the answer here for your guide. No? So far, are there any questions before we proceed to the next set of topics? Everything clear so far? Okay. All right. So let's proceed. So we're on track anyway. All right. Now we can now finally proceed with linear. So again, like I've said the first time earlier. So what if there is an example? Diba? This one is both homogeneous and exact. It satisfied both the testings. But what if your differential equation, especially your first order DE, did not satisfy both? So like I said earlier, it might be linear or Bernoulli. So which are the next tandem of first order differential equation. So why I say tandem? Because when you look at the form, so they have almost identical form. See here, you have dy over dx plus p of x times y equals q of x. While for Bernoulli, look at here, you have dy over dx, same, p of x times y, same. So the only difference is the presence of y raised to n. Okay, so that's what makes them different. Okay, so good news for you. So we won't introduce a different or a new method of testing. Diba? You had homogeneity test, you had test for exactness. So we're no longer introduce a new method of testing for linear and Bernoulli. But the bad news is, if the given is in the form of mdx plus ndy equals 0, of course, you also don't have a direct way of confirming that that is linear or Bernoulli. Okay, you might have an idea, but of course, you need proof. So, of course, the proof is to first rule out homogeneous and exact. So, make sure that the sample is not, or the given is not homogeneous by testing, and also not exact by testing. Only then, you will work on it on being linear or Bernoulli by changing this form into this form. Alright, so you will have to convert this form, mdx and dy, into this form. Okay? Also for Bernoulli, wherein the only difference is the presence of y raised to n here. Right? Up, up, up. Okay? So let's look at the forms now for linear and Bernoulli. So if you notice, we've introduced new letters, okay, P and Q. So what are those? So P of x and Q of x are functions of x. So when we say functions of x, what are those, or how do they differ with m and n? Do I remember m and n are functions of x, y? What do we mean by this? It means it could be combination. X squared y, xy, x plus y, x squared y over x, something like that. But if it's only function of x, so you'll just have x squared. You'll have e to the x. You'll have sine x. You'll have e to the x sine x. Something like that. That's still all x. No y. Right? And also, y, your only y variable appears to be the first power. Remember, during our first topic, linear is defined as differential equation with no powers or products of y or its derivative. So only to the first power. All right. How about for Bernoulli? So the difference with Bernoulli is that they are nonlinear. How do we define nonlinear? So your y, there is a y variable in your equation that has an n as an exponent where n could be any real number except 0 and 1. So meaning it can be from negative infinity to 0. It can also be between 0 and 1. And it can also be 1 to positive infinity. So any real number, it can be 1 million, it can be negative 5, it can be 1/3, right? As long as it's not 0 or 1. So that is nonlinear. Now, so how do you also identify P and Q? So of course, your P, as you can see on the form, is the one attached to Y for linear. How about for Q? Your Q is solo living. Okay? So it doesn't have a Y factor with Q. Okay, but for Bernoulli, you can recognize it immediately. It will have a y raised to n. Let's say y raised to 5, y raised to 2, y raised to negative 1,000, something like that. Okay? So you'll immediately recognize that, oh, okay, that's q of x. Right? But if it's solo living also, so that's q of x as well. Okay? So let's have an example here. Before we solve it, I want you to understand that, of course, not every given will look like this. Directly given to you that this is linear. Diba? It follows the form dy dx. You have the p of x times y. Diba? This one. Wherein your p of x is your 2. And q of x on the other side. But what if I gave it like this? So I will transform. Then I cross multiply that. Okay? And then I moved it to the other side. Ayan. So what form is this? Diba? This is m dx plus n dy equals 0. So what if I gave you a given like this on the exam or on the assessment? Okay, of course, your first instinct, as what we have discussed before, is what? To assume that this could be what? Homogeneous or exact. Okay, because again, we have no direct way of knowing immediately from the given that this is linear. Unless you have a hunch and you already tried to manipulate the given into the linear form. Okay? So of course, you will have to test first if it is homogeneous or exact. So that's what we're going to do here for now. We will test again. Okay? So we do a lot of testing here. So homogeneity test. So we'll do lambda again. Right? Lambda. There's a B. So this is your m. You know that your m is attached to dx, so that's x minus 2y. How about your n? Your n is the factor of your dy, which is negative 1. Okay, so again, ratio of m to n, that will be lambda x minus 2 lambda y over negative 1. Right? You can put here negative lambda because it's not a variable. So factoring out x minus 2y over negative 1. But sir, but sir, there's no lambda. What to do? Okay. Panic. Okay. So don't panic. It's organic. Okay. So even though there's no lambda present here, there actually is. It's just lambda to the 0. And what's your lambda above? That's lambda to the first. So it means it's not the same degree. Therefore, it's not homogeneous. Are you following? So if you remember, di ba I gave you a lot of practice problems um, with exact. So if you tried to test it using homogeneous, you might have encountered this scenario wherein you can factor out lambda because the other term has no variable. So this is what happens there. So it's not same degree, basically. Okay, that's the explanation. Now, we'll do test for exactness. Partial n with respect to x should be equal to the partial of m with respect to y. We substitute partial of negative 1 with respect to x and then partial of x minus 2y with respect to y. What comes out of here? 0. How about this one? This is 0 and this is negative 2. So not equal, therefore not exact. Diba? So what to do next if you encounter the given like that? No? Aside from crying, you can also try to yeah, you can also try to what? Assume, 'di ba, that this time it might be linear or Bernoulli. Okay? But you no longer have to do any testing. What you need to do is first check out the y variable. 'Di ba? We know that if the y variable is only to the first power, automatically that's linear. But if it has, let's say, for example, on dy, you have a negative y squared dy, it might be what? Bernoulli. Okay, it might be Bernoulli. Alright, but I will need proof that it's linear by converting it into the linear form. Okay, the LDE form. Alright, so don't just answer, therefore linear. Okay, so not homogeneous, not exact based on the testing, therefore linear. Yay. Okay, so I won't accept this unless you have the proof that that the form is linear. And besides, you will have to convert it anyway because that's part of the solution. Alright, so that's part of the solution steps. You will have to identify P and Q. No, the P of X and Q of X anyway. So you'll have to convert. Okay? Okay. So now, we have proven that this is linear. We can now proceed with solving it. Okay? So we will now discuss the steps in solving linear differential equations. Now, here's the thing also. Di ba I told you that linear and Bernoulli are in tandem? They're partners. So, why did I also, how do we also say that? It's because the solution steps for linear, okay, this is very important. The solution steps for linear also applies to Bernoulli. Meaning, Okay, meaning if you familiarize or practice solving linear or the solution steps to linear. Now, if you familiarize these steps, you can halfway already solve Bernoulli. All right. So what do I mean by halfway? It's just you will need to insert some more steps here. Okay. So you'll just need to insert some more steps here that your Bernoulli will be converted into linear. And then you just apply the same steps here to solve. Diba? So instead of what? Introducing two entirely new different methods of solving like homogeneous and exact. Diba? They're entirely different methods. One is substitution, the other is step by step. So with linear and Bernoulli, it's like only familiarizing 1.5 process. Okay. So one and a half process. It's like you bargain for the other half, and on the supermarket. No, para kayo nakatawad. Okay? Ng half of the process, right? So meaning, if you familiarize or when we answer this using linear, so for Bernoulli, that's almost just the same process with just a few additional steps at the beginning. Okay? So now let's apply this. So step 1, manipulate the given to identify Px and Qx. So the given is already set now for this example. Okay. So step 1 is to manipulate the given, but it's already set. So we'll just identify P of x and Q of x. So what's your P of x here? So we've said that that is the one attached to y. So that is positive 2. What is your Qx? So that is the solo living on the other side. So that's x. So this is step 1. Step 2. So it said here, we will need to compute for the integrating factor. What is that? So we will have formula again. All right. So right around here on the process of linear or even the exact, diba, you're going to have working equations instead of heavy algebra. So I'm not sure which do you prefer. If you prefer to memorize or familiarize formulas like this, or if you just prefer to go along with the algebra, but the bottom line of that is you should practice. Okay, so that's the key here to surviving. All right. So remember this. This is the formula for integrating factor IF. So there will you use your p of x. So e raised to the integral of p of x dx. And then on the next step, you will substitute IF, the one that you got here, into the general solution formula together with your Q. So this Q is from the given also. Okay, what we identified. Okay, so let's apply here. So you have to compute for IF. E raised to the integral of p of x dx. So again, your px is 2. So evaluating this, you'll have e to the 2x. Right? And now, we put this with the general solution formula. Okay, so y times e to the 2x. And then on this one, you'll have integral of x e to the 2x dx plus constant. So this one you can set aside because step 4, solve for y. So only then we will simplify or remove the e to the 2x. But here's the question. How do you evaluate integral of x e to the 2x dx? Remember, from your integral, this is integration by parts. The equivalent of product rule on your diffcal. Diba? You have two different functions. One is algebraic, the other is exponential. And they are product of each other. And you get the integral. So you will use integration by parts. So for today, I will also teach you two methods that you can use. One is by formula, The other, right around here, is by what we call tabular integration by parts. So this was developed by Dr. Emil Alcantara. He's one of the university professors here teaching mathematics and physics. So I developed this as a simpler way to do this. So first I will show you the formula. So integral of u dv is equal to uv minus integral of v du. So because of this, we will need to what? Assign u and v. Okay? So for u, we need to select between the two, which is easier to differentiate. So first, that is x. And then the v is the easier to integrate, e to the 2x. And then we will get their derivative, of course, du and dv. So of course, derivative of x is dx. Derivative of the dv is 2 e to the 2x dv. Sorry, dx. And then we substitute here. So integral of u, which is x, times the dv, 2 e to the 2x dx. Okay? And then you have u times v, so x e to the 2x minus integral of what's your v? This one. E to the 2x dx. Okay? So on this one, I will just factor out 2. And you can notice here, so we got back to the original integral. X e to the 2x dx. And on the other side, we will evaluate this one. So you copy. What is this? You bring down 2 but reciprocal. So you have 1 half and then you copy. Diba? That's your integral. And now, I will just need to remove the 2 here on the other side. So we divide. So you have integral of x e to the 2x dx is equal to 1 half x e to the 2x e to the 2x. So, as you notice here, diba we're looking for this integral, which is also same with this. So now we can just substitute this one. Diba that's how you do the IBP. So you'll have y e to the 2x. So this one gets substituted. 1 half x e to the 2x minus 1 fourth e to the 2x plus c. Now, the final step is to solve for y. So we will divide, supposedly, right? But we can also what? Multiply by the negative exponent, right? So this cancels out. What's left is y. This one cancels out also. So x over 2. This one cancels out. So 1 fourth. And this won't cancel out. Okay? Remember, this is a function. If we get multiplied by arbitrary constant, it will attach. This is your general solution. Are you following so far? Did you follow the steps? So we will label the steps, don't worry, for linear. So here it is. Step 1, again, from the given to identifying px and qx. So this is your step 1. Why is my... Okay. Step 2 is solving for if. Step 3 is evaluating this, no? Substituting and evaluating, including the integration by parts. And finally, step 4 is simplifying or getting the y. See? It's just 4 steps. Okay? So what the only thing that will give you complications or headaches here is well, one- uh the only thing that will give you complications no or headaches or fever or flu or COVID here is the integration by parts. Right? So also expect this is what you need to expect. Expect that for linear, when you're solving linear, you might encounter integration by parts because of this part. The Q times the IF, 'di ba? Q is a function. IF you also solve as a function. So most likely you will have to deal with this. So that's why I'm introducing to you or showing you another way of solving the integration by parts using tabular method. So instead of formula, so here's how we do it. You'll create a table. Literally a table with rows and columns. So you have three columns there, S, D, and I. So for your S, that is your sign convention. So that's just positive, negative, alternating. For the D, you have your derivative. Okay? And then for the I, you have your integral. So what will you put to your D column? So like what we did earlier, the one easier to derivative. And on the integral column, of course, the other one. But sir, what if there are other functions that will encounter like sine x, ln x, something like that? So we have a mnemonics, don't worry. So our mnemonics is Leate. So what is Leate? Remember this or save this or write this down. L stands for logarithmic. I stands for inverse. 1 over x, 1 over x squared, so those are inverse. A is for algebraic, so your normal x, x squared, x cubed, something like that. And then T is for trigonometric. Okay, you have your sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, and the others. You have your hyperbolic. So these are the trigonometric with the H. Remember that? The sinh, cos, tang. Okay? And E is your exponential. So how do we use the mnemonic, sir? So from the left to the right, that is your priority to select as the derivative. And from the right to the left, that is your priority to select as the integral. Okay, so far, are you following for the mnemonic? So again, logarithmic, inverse, algebraic, trigonometric, hyperbolic, and exponential. So now, what's next to do? So in your columns, you will just apply the process. So if it's derivative, you will do derivative. So derivative of x is 1, derivative of 1 is 0. So you don't have to do the rest because it will always just be 0, so on. Integral, you will do the same. But you will stop if it's a repeating integral or it's an immortal like e to the x. You will stop when you reach a 0 on the derivative end. So integral of e to the 2x is 1 half e to the 2x. And then the integral of this is, so we bring down another 1 half, so 1/4 e to the 2x. So it's already beside the 0, so you don't have to deal with the next ones. So now, what is, or how do you evaluate the integral of e to the 2x dx using tabular? So the answer, so each term will depend on your table. Okay? Remember how we did the determinants? Remember how we made the basket for the basket method? Did you remember that? How we made the equation? 'Di ba we literally connected the elements on the matrix and then we multiplied them. Remember that? So that's what we're also going to do here. So you have starting with the sign, okay? The first sign and then the first element on your derivative column. And then you will go down diagonally to the first integral. Okay? So that's your pattern. And then on the next term, so the next sign, and then straight, and then diagonal. And then here, straight, diagonal. Here, straight, diagonal, and so on. Alright, so what is the integral of this? So you have positive x times 1 half, di ba? E to the 2x. And then minus 1 times 1/4 is still 1/4 e to the 2x. Right? Diba this is the same? 1 half x e to the 2x minus 1/4 x e to the 2x. Same as this one. Alright? So did you follow how the tabular was used? Right? So I'm not sure if this was already taught to you or this is new to you. So if you want to practice this or try this, you can gather your previous examples of integration by parts and then try to apply the tabular. Okay, let's see if you will arrive at the same answers as you got before. Okay, so if it works for you or if you see that this is simpler to do or simpler to use or simpler to follow or if it's easier for you to understand or get the integral of the IBP using tabular, so do it. But if you're used already with the formula and it's more comfortable for you to use, then stick with the formula. Okay, so it's up to you. I just gave you some options to use for this one. Anyway, it's just part of the solution process for the linear, for the LDE, and also on Bernoulli. Because we've said this four-step process also applies to Bernoulli. The only difference is that on Bernoulli, what is that? Wait, it hang. Ay, okay. So for Bernoulli, you will just have to insert a series of steps to convert it into linear. That's what's important here. But first, I will add another special case. Di ba? You have a special case for linear. So linear, at the same time, homogeneous or homogeneous linear equations. So what do we mean by homogeneous? Is it the same? Is it exactly the same as the homogeneous that we have done before? So homogeneous here means the structure. Diba? Remember, again, on our first topic, when we say homogeneous, the right side of the equation is 0, while the left side is what? Containing only y and its derivatives. Remember that? Okay? So when it's non-homogeneous, how do you identify that? Of course, the right side contains a function of x. Like this one. 'Di ba? Left side, y and its derivatives. But on the right side, you have a function of x. So this is non-homogeneous. And at the same time, this is linear, LDE. Okay? But for this case, on our special case, so this is linear because, why is it linear? Your y and the derivative is only first degree. While your right side is 0. Okay? So remember that, ha? So how do we solve this? Special case. Linear, homogeneous linear. So di ba you have your equation or working equation, right? Right? Di ba you have this? But your q is missing. It's because 0 here is supposed to be your q of x, right? So if your q of x is already 0, then this entire part will be 0. And what's left is y times if equals constant. And what is your if? The bio if is e raised to the integral of p of x dx. And then what's your step 4? Solve for y. So we will divide with this, right? But instead of dividing what we did earlier, we will multiply with the negative exponent. Remember this from earlier? So we distribute. So this one cancels out y. And this one attach. Diba this is this one. So meaning, so I derive it already for you, so you don't have to do it. This is already your general solution form. If it's special case, homogeneous linear DE, you'll go straight to this solution. Is that clear? Okay? So are you following with this one when it's special case? So it's gonna be so much easier. Why? Because you don't have to deal with IBP, right? Because on QIF DX, 'di ba, you will have an IBP here, integration by parts. Okay, so let's try on this example. So this is already special case, right? 0 on the other side and y and derivative of y only on the left side. So we'll apply this. Y equals c e to the negative integral of, what is our p of x here? The one attached to y, which is 3. Okay, evaluating that, we'll have e to the negative 3 integral of dx is x. This is already your general solution. It took less than 10 seconds in solving that. Right? Very easy. Okay, it's like a gift already, or it's given to you already if you encounter something like this. It's sure points. Okay, if you encountered something like this during the exams, right? So whoever will make the exams, who is me? Okay, so I will make the exams. So do you want to have this on your exams? Or would you like to have this on your exams? I don't. Just kidding. We'll see. Of course, what's still important here is what if the given is not of this form? It's in MDX and DY, right? So if it's MDX and DY, of course, you will still have to what? To convert, right? Also, if it's given in this form, you might, let's try if it will have the same, if it will have the same, what you call that, answer. Because when you look at this, diba this also looks like separable. So let's try separable. Let's try doing separable on this one. You move it on the other side. So you'll have dy over dx equals negative 3y. Right? And then we cross multiply, right? dy, negative dy over, ah, dy over y. So I'll remove the negative. I'll include it on the dx. dy over y is equal to negative 3 dx. And then we will integrate. Yep. Let's see if it will have the same result. No? So what will happen here? Ah, okay, I'll do it on the other side. Diba you have here dy over y and then you have your negative 3 dx. Diba this is already integrable. So here's the thing. Okay, before we proceed here, I only realized this now. Okay, for this example only, I only realized this that this is separable. On the other sections, I haven't noticed it. Maybe because I don't have colds yet. Okay. So maybe because of the colds, I noticed that this is also separable. So if this is separable, so you don't even have to go with the general solution form. You just have to do the separable method, like what you've done with your board work. Okay, so let's continue this. So this is L and Y, right? Well, what is this? Negative 3x, right? Because it's integral of the x, so x. So how do we evaluate this? Diba? We will apply properties of exponential. Okay? So what is this? Y. And then what is this? E to the negative 3x. Diba this is the same? Ay, sorry. I forgot the I forgot again the C. I forgot the C here. C should be after integrating, right? So plus C. So that is uh if, if it is plus C, no, no, it's still the same here. Wait. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. So plus C. Ayan, okay. I remembered it now. Okay, so I have this, no? So because the C is missing. Okay? But what property is this for exponential? Di ba when you have this, you can write this as e raised to c times e raised to e to the 3x. Remember this, how this turns out? So e to the c is still constant. It gets absorbed. And then e to the negative 3x. And then y. So now it's the same. Okay? But you saw what happened there. We did the separable because if the given is like this and your instinct tells you, oh, diba, this is separable. Okay? So you can approach it using separable method. So you will arrive at the same answer, but you had to what? Apply properties of ln and properties of exponential. Right? So that's what happened. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm talking about, that you have to understand our concepts that we've discussed the first time, the first concepts we discussed, the types, order, degree, types of first order, structure. Because if you recognize that although this is also separable, but this is also the special case homogeneous linear, which approach is easier? Linear approach or separable? Diba? It's obvious that the linear approach, which is solution based, is easier or simpler. Okay, even though, 'di ba, with separable, this looks simple. Oh, it's separable, right? You just transpose and cross multiply. Boom, what happened here? You had ln, you had e, you had to think hard here. Even I had to recall. Okay? So that's what happened there. So if you recognize that this is special case homogeneous linear, you won't have to deal with separable. So I might give this actually as or something like this during the exam as a trap. Okay. Okay. So as a trap, no, for those who don't understand or who haven't practiced identifying or yung what do you call that, the terms and concepts that we discussed during the first topic. All right. So if you don't understand that, you might fall into this trap. Okay. That, ooh, that's separable, right? Or I might give it as a given like this. Dy over dx equals negative 3y, something like that. Okay. So if the given is like this, you will think, oh, it can be separable. Okay. Good luck to you. Okay. But if you can recognize that this is what? A special case, homogeneous linear, so you'll have a simpler solution. Okay, so that's the beauty of differential equations. No? Like I've said before, there's no one size fits all solution for every given. You can have a different approach. You can even have an approach that we haven't discussed. As long as it's the correct approach, right? You didn't do magic, okay? Or you didn't violate any existing laws and principles, no? So that's accepted. So I will look it up, and if it's proven that it's a legit solution, then you will receive credit for it. Okay? So I think that also happened last time. So some of the students did another method that we haven't discussed during the class, but it's correct. So I checked as long as the solution is consistent and correct, so I accepted it. So if you have something like that upon your sleeve, okay? So you can use it, no, and we'll see if it's also a legit solution to our problems here, right? Okay, so I leave this to you as an practice for LDE, right? So you have this, okay, and then I've given the answer here as your guide, right? And then so that you're not too far behind for the other sections, so we will discuss Bernoulli, okay? So I hope you still have the brain cells and the energy to absorb this one. So this is almost done because like what I've said, the process for Bernoulli, half of the process for Bernoulli is already linear. What you just need to understand is how to convert Bernoulli into linear. Okay, so let's jump into the example already. No, not the example. Process first. Okay. So we will need to convert this Bernoulli into a linear. So what will be the process? So the process looks like this. It's also a step-by-step process. It's basically three steps. Okay? Three steps that you will need to add before you solve using LDE. So what are those steps? Also, please bear with me. As you can see here, it's a bit uh it's giving sore eyes to see. All right, it's really difficult to look at. Why? Because there's so many letters. Okay, if I ask you to find a number here, you will say, "Oh, there's one, one, one." Okay, that's the only number that you can see on this explanation. But this is just the process. When we go to the example, I promise you the n here, the your n is the exponent of the y. Let's say y to the fifth, y to the y squared. So this will have a value. I promise you. So this will simplify. All right. So please bear with me for now that uh, it's a bit sore to look at. Okay, it's a bit difficult to look at. Okay, but we'll try to understand this. So now we have your given, Bernoulli. Again, the only difference with linear is that there is a presence of y raised to n. So for solving Bernoulli, the key here is to clean up every term. So you will need to clean this up, and then you will need to clean this up, and finally this one. So first, we will need to clean up the qx or q of x times y raised to n. So how to clean that up? We just need to remove this. How do we remove it? Diba? We just divide all by y raised to n. Okay, but to avoid having fractions, we will just multiply with the negative exponent. That's what happened here. Okay, so that's why on the next line, you have y raised to negative n dy over dx. So, diba, this one gets distributed. And then on the next one, you have p of x times y raised to 1 minus n. How did it become like this? Diba, you have your y here, y raised to 1. And you multiply by y raised to negative n. Diba, you apply loss of exponent 1 minus n. Now, you combine the exponent. And then q of x is now clean. Alright? So, it's now clean here. Next, you clean this part. Now, we move on to this part. You will need to clean this y raised to 1 minus n. So, we will substitute with z. Alright? So, we can clean that part. Now, it's not enough that you substitute y with z. You will also have to substitute the derivative of y. Okay? So, meaning you will have to get the derivative of this, dz. So, dz over dx equals, what's the derivative of this one? So, you just apply chain rule and intrinsic. So, you'll have 1 minus n, and this one is the 1, y raised to 1 minus n minus 1. So, the 1 cancels out. So, this is what remained. And then dy over dx. No? And then, to substitute here, as you can see here, they almost look the same now. This one and this one. So, we just need to transfer this on the other side by dividing both sides by 1 minus n. So that's what happened here. All right? So next. So now that you can substitute z and this part, so we will do that on the next line. So I'll just put it here so you know. Okay. So this part got replaced by this. And then this part got replaced by z. Alright? And of course, your Q of x is already clean. Okay? So this is now also clean. Right? So what's the last step? We need to clean this one. We need to remove this with your dz over dx. So we do that by multiplying both sides by 1 minus n. So it cancels out. So this is one is clean now. And this one, although what I've said, it's sore to look at, but uh, trust me, this becomes a value or a coefficient only. Okay, so you take this as a whole, and also you distribute here, you take this as a whole also. So now you have what? A linear differential equation. So why is it linear now? So no powers of z more than 1. Right? Also, your q of x here doesn't contain or is not multiplied with another function that has a high exponent. So what's the next step here? So you solve with LDE. So how do you solve with LDE? We do the formula. Diba? We already have a working formula. Okay? Just be careful. You will revert back your z into, what do you substitute? Y raised to 1 minus n. And then copy the rest. So for IF, here's also what's important for IF. Diba you're using P of x and Q of x? So you will identify the Q of x and the P of x as these two. The one on the converted version of your Bernoulli, right? So let's have an example. So this is the last part here. So this is obviously Bernoulli. It's already in the Bernoulli form. As you can see, there is a presence of y raised to n, which is this one, y squared. Okay, so when you're dealing with this, note, the first thing you do is note that your n is 2. Alright? So the first thing you do is write your n. No? So identify it here so that you won't have to always recall or you won't get confused. So what's the first step again? We clean this part. So we multiply this by y raised to negative n, which is negative 2. So this will have y raised to negative 2 dy over dx minus what happens here? Y raised to 1 minus 2. So that is y raised to negative 1. And then this one is clean now. Next one, let z equals this part, right? So y raised to negative 1. And then we get the derivative. So dz over dx is simply chain rule. Negative, you have y raised to negative 1 minus 1. So you'll have negative 2. And then dy over dx. This is what you need to look out for. This part should look like this now on the previous one. So that's your clue. And then you just need to transfer the coefficient to the other side. So you'll have there negative dz over dx is equal to y raised to negative 2 dy over dx. So I just multiply this by negative 1. Okay, what's the next step? We will substitute this here and the z here. So you'll have negative dz over dx and then minus z is equal to x. So this is clean now. This is clean. So we need to clean this up with the coefficient. So we multiply by negative 1 so that it becomes positive dz over dx plus z is equal to negative x. This is now LDE. Okay? So now we apply the formula. Now, we identify P of x and Q of x here. What is your P of x now? The one attached to z, which is positive 1. And then what is your Q of x? Simply negative x. So we get the IF. What is your IF? This is e raised to integral of P of x, which is 1 times dx. So e to the x only. Okay, and then what's the formula? Z IF integral of Q IF dx plus constant. Okay, so again, you can now revert your z or return your z into what you substitute. So you'll have y raised to negative 1 times your IF e to the x. Okay, equals integral of what's your q? Negative x. And then what's your IF again? E to the x dx plus constant. So you can write this as 1 over y e to the x. Now what is this again? IBP. Right? So I just factor out the negative and then what is the IBP of this one? You'll have x e to the x minus integral of e to the x dx. So you will have, that's immortal, right? So you will still have e to the x plus c. All right. So again, practice. I leave it to you to practice or recall how to do the integration by parts. Okay. So for the sake of time, I already directed it here. Right. What's next? So we will solve for y. So for this one, I won't require you to write it as in terms of y. So if even if it's 1 over y, I will accept it. So you just need to simplify the function next to it, right? So we multiply with the negative exponent, so it cancels out. You have 1 over y, and this is, so this one gets removed, this one gets removed. You'll have negative x minus 1 plus c. So this one attaches, right? E to the negative x. General solution. Okay, so you can distribute this one. You can multiply this by y. But that's not necessary for me. No, I will accept it as this is. Okay? So did you follow what we did here for the example? For the conversion? Let's label again so you will know. Step 1, from the given, for Bernoulli, step 1 for Bernoulli is multiplying by the y raised to negative n. So that's step 1. Okay? So after we did that, step 2 is let z. No? Let c be this one. And then after simplifying that, what's the next step? We will substitute to convert it to LDE. Okay? And then your step 4 is simply LDE method. Right? It's simple, right? So first of all, you just need to, again, recognize or determine that this is a Bernoulli. Okay? So you need to determine that this is a Bernoulli before you apply this. So if you have determined that this is Bernoulli, no? So the next step is to convert it into linear, and when you have it as a linear, you can now solve it via linear. Okay, is that clear for everyone? All right. So we don't have special cases for Bernoulli because if you set this to 0, it will just be what? It will just be the special case of linear, 'di ba? Because q of x is already 0. No? So I leave you with this one for practice. So I forgot to write the correct answer, but you can try practicing it using Bernoulli. So this is already on the form. Okay? It's just that you're going to deal with some inverse, 1 over x, 1 over x. But your y raised to n is another 2. No, your n here is equal to 2. So meaning, the first step is what? Multiply it by y raised to negative n, right? So negative 2. And then you continue the process. Is that clear for everyone? Were you able to follow our discussion for today? So, so we did a lot of discussion starting from exact up to this, no? Because we had to somewhat catch up. I think there's still one section, I think O7, or I'm not sure which one. There's a section that is yet to discuss Bernoulli. I think that is, I forgot which one is that. Anyway, so I think it's O1. Section O1. I think we haven't discussed Bernoulli for O1. Then we will have the face to face. So next week. Okay, so are we clear with the slides? Are there any slides you want to return to? Yes.
Sir, pwede po pabalik po sa slide 49 lang po. Screenshot ko lang.
Ayan, 49. Ayan. So steps in solving Bernoulli. Right. So this is as I've said, this is difficult to look at, but if you apply this on the example, you will understand it better. Right? Because there are so many variables. Even the n is a letter here, But when you're already dealing with the example, this is better or easier to follow. Okay? So any more slides you need to return to, you want to look at or screenshot before I close this? So are we good with the slides? Okay. Going once, going twice, going thrice. Okay. So next,